Hi, I'm Elizabeth at A Literary Princess. If you are new here, welcome. I have a PhD in English literature with a focus on Victorian women novelists, and as you might expect, I love to read. Today we've got rather different lighting and kind of a crappy angle, but that's because we're doing a kind of different video. So my husband is away for the weekend, ice fishing, and I decided that this would be a good time to reorganize my bookshelves. Because over the year of 2025, I acquired 101 new books, and most of them have not been properly placed. They've just been placed on an open bookshelf I had in the other room. So I figured this would be a good time to put those where they're supposed to be, dust the shelves, because, guys, bad. It's really bad. Unhaul some books that I don't want anymore, and just kind of throw away the general crap that accumulates, because general crap just accumulates. I figured it would be fun to bring you along for the ride. We have a cat. These two are very interested in what's been going on because I did a little bit of pre-cleaning so that you weren't just watching me sort through a bunch of papers. And they are all interested and want to be right up in my face and on my lap and on the table and knocking over the camera because you are naughty. What if I took these toes? What if I took them? So that is what we're going to be doing today. Let's get started. I've just realized that I forgot to put my 5 volumes of Les Mis where they're supposed to be. And I have to undo everything. So that is the classics done now. So they used to end right about here on this shelf. They now go all the way to the end. They are slowly just pushing their way through and becoming the dominant genre, I guess you might say. Despite my love of classics, I have found 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 that I want to unhaul. And they're all from the 18th Century Novel Project. So I'm going to be getting rid of Love in Excess, The Vicar of Wakefield, Gulliver's Travels, The Life and Opinions of Tristram Shandy, Gentleman, and Tom Jones. So I'm going to go put those in my unhaul box, although I'm going to need to keep them near the top of the unhaul box because I actually do need them for a video for next week. But yeah, so I am getting rid of some classics. Hopefully there'll be more I can get rid of in the other genres because otherwise there's not going to be enough room for all these books. Okay, so I have filled up the 2 shelves that I have out here in the living room. We made it through the M's in the general fiction category. So I do have a stack, a fairly large stack, that now need to be moved into the office. And I think I'm gonna have a lunch break before I do that, because, good Lord. Also, I don't know how I'm gonna have you in the office with me because the office is a mess. Like, I call it the pit of despair. It's really not that bad, but it's not great. So I did on these 2 shelves find several books that I'm going to be unhauling. So first of all, we have Middlesex by Jeffrey Eugenides. Now I'm keeping 2 other books by him, The Virgin Suicides and The Marriage Plot, both of which I've read and really liked. But to be perfectly honest, the summary here just doesn't intrigue me enough for me to want to read it. So I'm gonna unhaul it. Next are 3 that go together, and they're the first 3 books in the Poldark series by Winston Graham. So we've got Ross Poldark, Demelza, and Jeremy Poldark. So I have read the first 2. I don't really think I want to continue with the series. I liked it a lot, but there's a lot of books in it. And if I want to read them, I'm like, I can get them out of the library. Or I know my mom really liked these, so I'm going to offer these to her before I, like, bring them to, you know, a used bookstore to get rid of. But, and then if she wants them and I feel the need to read them, I can borrow them from her, but I just don't feel the need to keep them. Gretel and the Dark by Eliza Granville. I've had this on my shelf for a while, and like, it sounds interesting, especially because there is this young girl, Krista, during World War II in Germany, who is very into fairy tales. To be honest, I'm not into World War II stories in general, and it sounds like there's a split timeline here. We've got 1899 in Vienna with a psychoanalyst, a mysterious, beautiful woman who claims to have no name, no feelings, to be in fact a machine, and he's trying to figure her out. And I'm like, I don't care. I just don't. So. So one that I actually really loved is Wilding Hall by Elizabeth Hand. This was one of my top books of the year last year, but I just don't feel the need to keep it, you know? Like, I don't know. I don't think I'm gonna read it again. I don't have anyone I want to lend it to, so. One of my young adult books, Under Rose-Tinted Skies by Louise Gornell. I really loved this book when I first read it. It's about a girl with agoraphobia. But I don't know, like, I don't feel like I need it anymore. It's not like the Laurie Halse Anderson books where I'm gonna want to reread it again and again. Like, I liked this book I loved it. I gave it 5 stars, and I have reread it multiple times, but I don't feel the need to hold on to it now. Yellow Face by R.F. Kuang. I really enjoyed this, but it was 4 stars, not 5, and I don't feel the same way about it that I feel about her fantasy books. One I haven't read is History of Wolves by Emily Fridland. I bought this a while ago because it says that it's a near gothic coming of age novel, and it sounded interesting, but I've kind of just lost interest in it and I haven't picked it up. I'm like, if I'm not gonna pick it up, I should unhaul it. And then 3 books that are all 5 stars is the 3 books I have of the Dublin Murder Squad series by Tana French. We've got The Secret Place, The Likeness, and the first book, In the Woods. I loved these. It's just I don't feel the need to keep them. Like, I don't know if I'm ever going to want to reread them. And I've already lent them to my mom, who loved them as well. If I decide I want to reread them, I can get them out of the library really easily. Like, I don't need to keep these. So I feel like I'm like really making progress with whittling down my books and just generally, you know, making things look neater and better. I have so many bookmarks. So like a lot of the crap that you saw at the beginning that were on these shelves, I've just moved it over to the coffee table for now, and I'm gonna figure out what to do with it later. But you know, hey. So I'm gonna go have lunch, and then I will be back in the office. Scary. I apologize in advance. Here's the office. Do you see what I mean about it being kind of a pit of despair? It's just a mess. It's also where the litter box is. The litter box is in this closet over here. So, I don't know. We like never go in here except to get stuff. Oh, and yeah. All right. Let's get to it. General fiction is done, and now I've got the fantasy section. So I'm getting rid of 2 more from the general fiction, both young adult. We've got How to Say Goodbye in Robot by Natalie Standiford, which I have had since high school, and I loved it in high school. I've read this so many times, but I just don't feel the need to keep it. And then we've got Belzar by Meg Wolitzer. This is her only young adult novel. And I just don't feel the need to keep it and reread it the same way I do with her other ones. So I'm gonna unhaul this too. I'm done with the fantasy section. I'm getting rid of 4 books, or 4 more. Did I already get rid of some? I don't even remember anymore. I don't think I did. Maybe I did. I don't know. But I'm gonna get rid of Always Coming Home by Ursula K. Le Guin. I just don't think I'm gonna read this ever. And I'm looking at it and the writing is so tiny and in such an odd font that I don't think I'd be able to read it anyway without like it being a struggle, and I don't want to struggle. And then the other 3 that I'm getting rid of are series, and if you've been watching my other videos, you might know what series this is. It's the Tierling trilogy by Erica Johansson with the Queen of the Tierling, the Invasion of the Tierling, and the Fate of the Tierling. So the first 2 books in this series are 5-star reads for me. I adore them. This ruined it. This 3rd book ruined it. Wow, what a crap ending. The more I think about it, the angrier I get. So I'm not keeping the series, even though this edition of the 1st book is so pretty. But no, it's time to say goodbye. It's time to say goodbye. All right, so now I'm moving into the fairy tales section. Elizabeth, you might ask, how is fairy tales different than fantasy? I don't know. So in the fairy tale section, we've got actual collections of fairy tales. Like we've got the Brothers Grimm, we've got Charles Perrault, I've got a collection of Irish folklore and stuff like that. But then there's also the retellings, and the retellings are mostly fantasy, because most fairy tale retellings are fantasy, but not all of them are fantasy. So that's kind of the difference between fantasy and fairy tales, is that some of the stuff in fairy tales is not fantasy. Why do I separate them out like this? I don't know, because I can. All right, let's keep going. I'm losing steam. It's like, what time is it? I don't even know what time it is. Oh, it's almost 3 o'clock. All right. I can keep going. I can keep going. So, that is the fairy tales, as well as the picture books done. The picture books just needed to be removed so I could dust. Next, we're going into the poetry and the nonfiction, which are the last 2 sections. Thank God, because I am starting to fade quick. And I'm looking around this office and I'm like, I really should deal with the rest of this crap, but I think that's something for tomorrow. So there is one more book that I am unhauling from that fantasy section that I forgot to mention, and that is The Light Between Worlds by Laura E. Weymouth. I read this and gave it 5 stars a while ago now, several years, but I just don't feel the need to revisit it. Fairy tales, we've got Ash by Melinda Lowe, which is a Cinderella retelling. Again, I read it, I liked it, I don't feel the need to reread it. Same with Thorn by Intisar Kanani. Too tired to pronounce names. This is a Goose Girl retelling. Again, I liked it, just Shadow and Glass, The Shadow in the Glass by J.J.A. Harwood. I really loved this one. But again, I don't think I'm gonna reread it. I think it's just time to make space. A Sorceress Comes to Call by T. Kingfisher. I read this last year and loved it, but I don't think I'm gonna reread it. Before Midnight by Cameron Doki. It was sweet, but don't feel the need to keep it. And then Girls Made of Snow and Glass by Melissa Shardroust. A Snow White retelling. Again, just don't feel the need to keep everything anymore. So, a few more for the unhaul pile, and on to the poetry and the nonfiction. Alright, so here I am with my nonfiction, or some of it, because I'm trying to figure out, how do I want to organize this? Because I'm not really happy with the organization system I have right now, but I also don't know what else to do. So, like, I don't know. just don't know. I don't know how to, like, I had like feminist stuff and then lit crit, memoirs, biographies, and then I have my Jane Austen nonfiction and my Bronte nonfiction in like an entirely separate category. Because in addition to that, I also have like graphic novels and some other stuff, and I'm just like, I don't know how to do these. Pippin, how should I do these? He's jumped on the table. I don't know. Hi everyone. So the nonfiction is now all shelved. How did I end up doing it? Weirdly. So I had kind of like subject. So I've got like books that are specifically about women and feminism, and then I had books about the Victorians, and then like language and literature, language, academia, and some other stuff. Then books about writing, memoirs, and then for the biographies, I did them alphabetically by subject. So I don't know. I might change it. I don't know if I'm happy with it. But I am getting rid of some. So I'm getting rid of Bloom's Modern Critical Interpretations of Emily Bronte's Wuthering Heights. It's super outdated and I don't need it. Damon Voices on Stories and Storytelling by Philip Pullman. I really enjoyed this. I just don't feel the need to keep it. Willful Subjects by Sarah Ahmed. This was for my feminist theory course, and I don't need to keep it. The Feminine Mystique by Betty Friedan. This is actually a great book. I just don't feel the need to keep it. Surpassing the Love of Men by Lillian Faderman. It's good. I just don't think I need it. The Second Sex by Simone de Beauvoir. I hated this book, and I don't want it anymore. And Gender Trouble, same thing. I hated it. I don't want it anymore. So, I've got a big box of books to take to the used bookstore to unhaul at some point. And I'm gonna like take you on a little quick tour, but I'll say goodbye now. Thanks for coming along on this journey with me. If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to see more of my bookish content. It has been great spending the day with you. I will see you soon. Bye.